Welcome to another edition of Happenings in the Dearborn Public Schools. I'm David Mustonen, Director of Communications, and joining me as always, the color analyst here on our show, the Superintendent Dr. Maleyko. Glenn, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, as always, David, as always.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, I hope I ate lunch before I came. I hope you ate lunch.
I had lunch.
All right, that's good, because
Yes.
we're not talking Domino's, we're not talking McDonald's, we're not talking anything like that. We're talking high quality food today, and we're talking food that comes right here from the kitchens of the Dearborn Public Schools. And joining us today, the expert on food service in the Dearborn Public Schools, is our Director of Food Services, Jeff Murphy. Jeff, thank you for joining us.
Great being here.
All right, great. Excellent. I know you were doing a little double duty today. You're actually working at one of the kitchens today.
Yes.
Thankfully, not cooking the food, but you were. We leave that to the experts in the district.
Absolutely.
But you were helping out, running cash register, making sure that things were running well and things are going good. And that was over at Salina today?
Yeah. I enjoy helping out whenever I can. Working with the kids is always a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Well, I'll kind of back him a little, though. I've seen him barbecue down at ASC, and it turned out very well. So I
lot of
appreciate
practice.
if you want to cook, Jeff. So anyway, we have our district. We have 21,000 students. So obviously we have a big operation here, feeding a lot of students. And what would a day, take us through like a day in Dearborn Schools with all the operation. Obviously we know the nutrition is so important, not only the lunch but the breakfast.
Absolutely. And we do serve breakfast, lunch, and even after school snacks at some of our schools. We've got 30 kitchens. We serve roughly 12,000 meals a day, which equates to about 1.7 million meals per year. So we're the third largest regarding serving in the state of Michigan. Busy operation. I've got great employees, and again, working with the kids is number one.
I know we also hear about healthy foods and healthier choices, and I know our district has done some things. In fact, you came to one of the advisory council meetings where we talked a little bit about that area.
Sure.
Do you want to talk about some of the things we've done for healthier foods?
Absolutely. And in 2010, there was an act. It was called the Healthy Hunger-Free Kids Act, and that was put into play with the Obama administration. And basically what that did was it was over a 5 or 6 year period where it would decrease sodium, calories, introducing fruits and vegetables, and just trying to make a healthier offerings for our kids. And a lot of districts through that period suffered through it, and their meals declined. Here in Dearborn, we've never had a decline in number of meals served.
Wow. Why do you think that is? I mean, there's two schools of thought there, right? Is, hey, I grew up eating Twinkies and peanut butter and jelly. All the kids should do that. And if you feed and give them healthy vegetables, they're just going to throw it away anyway. Mm-hmm. But then there's another school of thought that says, listen, if these kids don't have the opportunity to have some healthy choices, they'll never eat it. But at least if you put healthy choices in front of them, they will start to eat those healthy choices. Do you think that had something to do with it? Did that come into play at all? Or?
I think what happened is we made changes prior to 2010. We kind of heard in the pipeline what was happening, so we thought, we better get on board with this. So where we had white bread in the past, we brought in whole wheat bread. We made a lot. We have bakers in our district, which a lot of districts do not have. So we make our own baked goods. So we changed the flour used. And then we always had at least 2 servings of vegetables and fruits as well. But I think kids were kind of used to it. So really, it wasn't a whole lot of new things for them, and it showed in the numbers.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too with the healthier choices is getting, and I know when we met with the council that was one of the things they talked about. But maybe it's a fine balance between healthy, but you still have to keep it moving so that kids do eat. And that was something that you mentioned too. Plus, you have kind of a budget that you have to stay within, right? I mean, we know we sell lunches, but we also have our free and reduced lunch program where you've got to stay within that budget.
Right.
You know, so how does that impact decisions?
Well, that's a great question. You know, I mean, regarding, you know, we like serving 12,000 meals, you can't make everybody happy.
Sure.
But, you know, we kind of get feedback through our kitchens to see what kids are eating, what kids are not eating, and we make decisions based on that. So I think that too has helped along the way. If kids aren't eating it, it's not doing anybody any good.
So popular choices, and I know, like for myself, you know, food is, for me, you know, I love, in Dearborn, there's always great choices of food, whether it be in our kitchens or even just going to local restaurants. I mean, Dearborn really does have some great choices. It's a good topic. I know for me, you know, some of my favorite foods are seafood and spicy foods and things like that. I don't get it a lot because of my wife is not a big seafood eater, but I know we don't sell seafood in the schools per se. I mean, some fish maybe, but what are the popular choices, you know, among the students?
Well, it might surprise you, but breakfast for lunch is our number one seller. And I have parents who call and say, can't we have breakfast for lunch every day?
Really?
And my staff would kill me if we because it's the busiest day, and the line is it's incredible.
And what are some of those choices for breakfast? I mean, is it
It's like
cereals or
a whole
waffles
grain
or?
blueberry pancake. It's turkey sausage, hash browns, and orange juice, basically.
Wow.
But it's
So-
you know, it's a lot of components, so it's time consuming as far as serving goes. But the kids love it, so I put it on once a month, and it remains on top.
I guess Taco Bell and McDonald's are onto something, you know, with serving the breakfast all day long, and
Yeah.
Taco Bell introducing breakfast and all that. They must
Absolutely.
have picked up on that vibe, and
Well,
and obviously
they did
it's-
call
it's a-
me, so.
Another thing I know that we've done with our customers in the district, and I know you've talked about this before, but sometimes we get a question about, you know, why we chose to, in many of our kitchens, we have halal foods or halal choices, and you and I have worked on this, and do you want to comment a little bit on that? I think that's
Sure.
something that we started maybe over a decade ago, but
Yeah, and actually it was about 16 years ago that we piloted halal, and basically it was chicken patties, chicken nuggets, and hot dogs. And I can't remember the school that we piloted at, but you know, through the years we try to increase the number of schools that we offered, and that was based on a lot of times the principal having input into, hey, you know, can we offer this at our school as well? And you know, throughout the years, because a lot of people say, well, you know, isn't it more expensive, and doesn't that hurt your budget? And really what it does, what offsets that cost, because yes, it is more expensive, but we have more kids eating. And that's our goal. Our goal is to feed as many kids as possible. And you know, I think we now have, out of our 30 schools, we probably have halal options in 25 of them.
Wow.
and I know you've done some work in the last few years just in certain schools to make sure there's a halal option every day.
Absolutely,
You know.
absolutely, and that you know, that too, because you know there are still a lot of people who say, hey, you know, it seems like kids have a lot of cheese on the menu, and can't we do anything different? And really having some of these halal options has really offset that.
Has offset that. And that, really, it's about the customer. I mean,
Sure.
we're serving more kids. I know that within your budget, too, for your kitchen, that you actually have money. Now, we're not in it for a money-making business, but you also have generated revenue so you can continue to enhance, you know, your kitchen, your facilities. And I know there's a plan moving forward to try to, you know, upgrade some of the kitchen areas with the equipment. So, but it has been, you know, a positive. And sometimes we might get questions, you know, well, why? Well, we're accommodating all of our customers, and that's one option. Just like the breakfast for lunch or other things that people may be interested in. And I know because I had my students there, salad bars and all sorts of different ethnic foods, which would be nice.
Right.
But then you have some issues with both from a cost, but also perishable foods, and your regulations I think are a lot more tighter, my understanding, than even local what you would cook in the home or even in restaurants.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's with this Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act, it really tightened things up, and But my staff does a great job, and we listen to the kids, and we try to make changes. We listen to parents, but yes, sometimes the requests are a little hard to manage.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, like Glenn was saying, is yeah, we'd like to be able to offer 100 different options, but again, sometimes because of the federal guidelines about what we can and cannot serve and how we have to prepare things, that kind of limits us, and then also the economic factors.
Sure.
I don't know, just so it's clear, our food service department is, you are a standalone department.
Correct.
As far as budget goes.
Correct.
So the money that is made actually supports your department and pays for the
Right.
staff, the equipment, and when there's investment in new equipment, it's not really coming out of the general fund budget, but out of the food service budget, which
Correct.
is stuff that you're generating through the sale of food.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure that was correct. But no, I don't know
Yeah.
if everybody understands how that works.
Yep, we're self-operated, self-supporting, and we do have our own budget.
And how many staff members? I mean, as far as in the kitchens throughout the district, about how many food service?
We have approximately 150 employees throughout the district.
And you probably need 250. Is that right?
No,
I
150 is where we're at. I mean,
Okay.
right now we're probably 10% less than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is.
We're always hiring.
So if somebody is interested,
sure.
they should go to our website.
Absolutely.
DearbornSchools.org.
Yes.
Find that employment page, the HR, the Human Resources blog, and there is an opportunity. There's always opportunity for food service workers. Great job because decent pay, comparable to other places. I'm not saying that you're going to become a millionaire, but it's good pay. You follow the school schedule,
Right.
So it's great for maybe stay-at-home moms who are looking for a little bit of extra income. Great job for them because they follow the school schedule. So if they have children who are going to be on break at Christmas time or over the summer, they too would be on break. So that's a real advantage. The hours are great, right, during the school
Absolutely.
day.
Yep.
Don't have to worry about weekends or nights or anything like that.
Correct.
So a lot of advantages for anyone who may be interested in those positions.
All great points.
So just kind of looking at the future and looking ahead, are there some things that, some menu changes or some things that you're looking for in the future?
Well, there are always food shows that companies put on, and I always try to make it to those. Although I say sometimes my palate is different than what kids may be, I still get an opportunity to see the things that are out there. The one thing that kind of limits our product selection is that because restaurants and grocery stores don't have those same guidelines that we follow, the manufacturers really aren't going to produce all these different varieties for schools because it's such a small piece of their business. So it limits the items put out there that fit in those guidelines, and it makes things a little bit challenging at times. But again, through we do some sampling at some of our schools and listen to kids and get feedback and make our decisions based on that.
All right, great. Well,
Well,
hungry?
I
Hungry
mean,
yet?
yeah, I am, but I would like to say, talking about hungry is advocating for healthy choices, and I think we all make our own individual choices. So just for our audience out there too, that I've been actually watching and really making healthier choices with fruits and vegetables and things, and I feel more energized and I feel better because of it. And I think reducing the sugar intake and just balance. I mean, obviously everybody has a right to have a treat once in a while, but
Sure.
within moderation. I know my children are the two lining up, but I have to remind them, and so I also want to advocate. I think that's important as well. And for me in my job, I got long hours, but I'm more energized for making some of those healthier choices. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Jeff, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
I'm ready to
Thank
go
you.
out to dinner now. So you did not bring
my
any,
treat.
You didn't bring any samples with you.
Yeah.
No,
So,
come on.
I mean,
Wait a
come
second.
on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just happen to have. Sorry.
Well, thanks for taking a few minutes to stop by and visit with us on happenings. It is a big district, lots going on, lots of schools, lots of people, lots of students, and always something interesting going on right here in the Dearborn Public Schools.